Hello, and welcome to episode 37 of Unqualified Game Chat. I am your host, Azario Lopez, and with me today, my co-host, my brother,
Yes.
Spencer, the Legacy.
Hello, everyone. It's me once again. Glad to see you, all your shining faces.
Spencer,
Yeah,
you're wearing white today.
it's true.
I'm usually afraid to wear white.
Oh, because you might get something on it.
I'm a messy boy. I'm a crumble guy.
Yeah, I'm a trouble guy.
When I eat popcorn, I don't do the one or two. I do the handful. Ow.
No.
And then it all just dribbles on me like
You got some for later. You go, ooh, late in the movie. I thought I had no popcorn left.
And how are you feeling right now in that white?
I'm feeling good. I didn't eat anything messy today. I ate macaroni and I ate rice. That's what I ate today, and dumplings. That's what I ate today. Nothing messy.
Is dumplings a Canadian treat, or is that just
no? It's frozen Costco gyoza dumplings. So.
Oh yes, I know those. I'm very
and they're
well
not messy,
acquainted.
so I can wear my white hoodie, my Mandalorian hoodie, all wherever I choose.
It's been one of those weeks, my friend.
It has been.
I don't typically like reviewing a lot of games, but I feel like I reviewed too many this week.
How many did you review? Tell the audience.
By the end of the week, probably like 4, but right now 3.
That's a lot. That's almost one a day.
It's hard when you're writing a review, especially back-to-back reviews, because you don't want to repeat words or like phrases or like.
Oh yeah, no, that's really hard. I can't. I have to like pace out saying it's a blast. I have to pace out saying immensely satisfying.
Yeah. I try to. Sometimes I just want to say the game is great, but you can't just say the game is great. You know, you have to say it's significantly beautiful, and you have to
technically impressive on every regard.
It's engaging in all the right ways. I don't know.
Immersive and addictive.
I'm playing all these games, and the only game that I want to play is Harem Kingdom, and I can't. I can't play it because I'm too busy playing all these normie games. They're just falling on me.
They don't even have any porn in them. What the fuck?
I reviewed Crysis to Remastered trilogy.
Now, hold on. A week ago, you were like, I can't wait to cleanse with Crysis.
Is that what I said?
You were like, don't have to think about it. I can just play Crysis.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was recorded or pre-recorded.
So you don't have any proof?
I'm not sure. That's good. Yeah, I'll have to rewatch last episode 36, just in case.
So I've always liked Crysis. I mean, Crysis in my head, if nostalgia is on the same level as like a Halo, you know.
Oh, that's
without the multiplayer. But the best things about Crysis is that every entry is better than the last, and it ends on such a high note, and then it just disappears. They're just like, fuck it, we're done. I love when macho guys get into emotional situations, but not overly emotional like Tears of War or anything. Not some big old chainsaw guys crying.
Tears of War. I was like, did I mishear that, or was that a pun?
That is the pun.
I see.
Oh, this guy's crying and holding their chainsaw guns. I don't know about that. Their big old feet. They look like
that space. They look like Rescue Heroes.
Masters of the Universe characters.
Did you guys have Rescue Heroes?
I believe so. They
had big honking feet.
I was thinking more like Masters of the Universe, like He-Man and.
That's a bit of a boomer reference. I wasn't alive when that premiered.
Oh, yes. Well, they're making a movie about it. I believe. Maybe it's a TV show. Who cares? Spencer, as you know, this podcast is recorded every week.
Yeah.
And posted to podcast services on Thursday. Now, let me say that the Noisy Pixel podcast missed Monday because I had so much to do, but I'm trying to bring in other staff writers into that podcast because it's turning more into the Azario show, the Unqualified Part 2, the me trying to replicate what you and I have with somebody else.
The effortless chemistry.
It's not working. Not to say that
this is why they call me a nemesis, because you say things like that, they attribute it to me.
Well, it just gets more serious. Every time I go off on a tangent, it's not fed, it's more stopped. It's more limited. They chain me back, and with you, I could rip off these bearings and
true. You can rant, you can say all sorts of wacky things. I'll just jim the camera.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. In a world where
Amy Hennig talk, remember that?
In a world where you can mix vaccines, and
I'm a mixed boy,
and change the name of Facebook, why not?
Oh yeah, topical. So much happening this week.
Yeah, that's all I can remember.
When you can Dune Fortnite. That kind of world.
We did extend our show to viewers last week, and we did get some comments. So I have nothing to talk about.
You don't have any game to talk about? You played 4 games.
Yeah, I guess I could talk. Let me talk about adventure games, and this is something that I kind of want to develop in a feature. So I did send out a question to Supermassive Games, and when thinking about the Telltale licenses of games and just all their narrative and adventure segments, they never once updated their engine.
No,
for years, they used the same, you found the same jank, the same frame rate issues, everything was the same, and yet they were just pumping out these games back to back, and we were buying them. The chapter releases, in a sense, I guess, for a studio to be able to just put out a 45-minute hour experience, charge $10 or $20 for the whole thing. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty good idea.
When it worked, but it didn't always work.
Yes, the novelty wore off quickly, and I began to see through the facade. The veil was lifted, and I saw the light.
I saw the code. I said, "Hey, wait a minute. Batman is shockingly similar to Walking Dead in terms of how they play."
When they went out of business, when Telltale went out of business, I assumed that Supermassive Games, who released Until Dawn, would be close behind. And I must say, I am pleasantly surprised with what they have done with the genre. The Dark Pictures Anthology, which now includes 3 games published by Bandai Namco, is releasing House of Ashes, and it's a horror adventure where you play as Ashley Tisdale and the rest of the Mickey Mouse gang, and
Zach and Cody and everyone.
And you invade Iraq in 2003.
It really is 2003 Disney Channel.
What I wanted to get at with this conversation about this series in general is that I want to hand it to Supermassive Games for going above and beyond with this series. They could have taken what they did with Man of Medan, I believe, Medan.
Yeah, Man of Medan.
The first one, and just use the same engine and not really built upon it. But let me tell you, House of Ashes, not only did they improve the 2-player curator mode, but they also added a free roaming camera. Why?
Oh, that's cool.
This is like the first game that they've worked on, even Until Dawn had a stationary camera, or static camera, as they like to say. I thought this was amazing. They didn't have to. They didn't have to do it, is what I'm saying, and they did it, and they did it right. It works. You control the camera and the flashlight, kind of, but you can pull out the flashlight whenever you want and put it back away. But the movement is fluid, and it just feels good. It's nice. It's that in the curator mode, which is something that I don't think enough people talk about. So if we are both playing this game together, you're playing a different character at the same time that I'm playing, and you're making choices as that other character while I'm making choices as another character, but we're playing in different sections of the game.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you play single player, you're going to miss things that other characters are doing at the same time that you're doing something. So you have to play this curator mode in order to see what these other characters are doing while you're doing this. And then you and your friend can kind of, you guys will come together and then you'll split apart. Super cool. Yeah. It's super cool. And nobody fucking talks about it. And I think it's the coolest fucking thing in any horror adventure game, because your choices affect our game, same as my choices affect our game, but we're not together. You know, the problem with board games, especially co-op games, board games is 4 to 5 people. There's always that one person, and it's usually me, who starts commanding everybody, you know? Yeah. So it's just me playing, and I'm just telling everyone what to do, you know? So when you're playing the couch co-op mode in this game, I feel like it turns into that, where you have one person just being like, no, don't, say this, or don't, you know? But with this mode, it's more like we're apart. You know, you're over there, I'm over here, and we're playing the same story together, and we're affecting different aspects of it.
That's really novel.
I love it. I love it. And for a horror kind of mood setting game, it's perfect.
These games kind of fly under the radar too. Like, I don't see a ton of people talking about Man of Medan or Little Hope.
Yeah, and
like pretty solid, like creepy experiences, and it sounds like House of Ashes just further built on it. So
I hope that if their little anthology doesn't continue, I hope that they continue to make games in this space, because with House of Ashes, I think they've nailed human interaction drama. In Little Hope, the characters don't really know each other too well, I think, aside from some of the relationships, but they're pretty much separate spectrums. Here, they're really close. So the drama is kind of intertwined with everybody, and it's just a good concept. It's scary. It's more, I don't know, it causes more anxiety because you're trying to because you're trying to make those button presses for those quick time events. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great game.
Halloween game.
Good Halloween game. And in a time where there's not many Halloween games.
It's true, which is weird because it's October.
Yeah.
I think they aim for that. It's like how the new Scream movie comes out in January.
Super weird.
It's weird. Game industry following suit.
Blame COVID.
Yeah, that did mess with a lot of stuff.
Next year will be better.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed. What have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing Alan Wake Remastered for the first time.
Boring.
You're talking about Ashley Tisdale fighting in Iraq, and you're telling me that Alan Wake is boring. Come on now. Come on, man.
More like Alan, wake me up when this is over.
I knew that was coming. I was waiting for like Alan, wake me up. I was waiting for that.
Okay, let me lay it on me.
I am actually pretty impressed with it. It's weird. Like my review should be out Friday. Ideally. It's the gameplay loop of like shining a flashlight and then shooting is fine. Like there's no problem. It works fine and it's fun enough. But it's really the atmosphere and the storytelling that I think are really great. And because I'd never played Alan Wake, but like last year I was on a Remedy kick, so I was trying Max Payne and Control and like all this stuff, and I was like, oh, Alan Wake.
What's the Xbox One game?
Oh, Quantum Break.
Quantum Break. Oh, dude, nobody talks about that game, and it's fucking good.
It's got Iceman in it from the X-Men. That's pretty good.
It has the fucking guy from Lord of the Rings in it.
Which guy? There's a lot of them.
One of those hobbits, Merry and Pippin.
Hobbits?
It's like one of, is it Monaghan or
Dominic Monaghan?
Yes, yeah, him.
Oh, he's in it too, him and Iceman.
Yeah, him and Iceman.
That's cool.
You got Pippin. Does he play Pippin?
I think he's Mary.
Yeah, I think he's Mary.
Mary and Iceman.
Yeah.
Mary and Iceman's Big Adventure. That's what the new game is.
Yeah. So Quantum Break is a good game. No one really talks about that one. But continue.
I had an Xbox One. I would play it, but I don't have one. I have PlayStations because can't buy both. That's expensive.
I have both.
Well, we're not all elites.
Azario. Yes.
Some of us plebs are still. I think have to get by.
I think the problem is that nobody wants to play Xbox. Usually when you're running a website, so you have to buy one in order to review the games. And no reviewer wants an Xbox code. So if you really want a code for something, request an Xbox One. They'll usually give them to you. They have,
Xbox.
The codes are just so long. They're like 32 characters long too. And it's like nobody wants to fucking put all 32 characters in there.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Alan Wake, conceptually, it was the most interesting Remedy game to me because it's a writer and he starts getting attacked by the things he made in like Twin Peaks. And I love Twin Peaks and I'm something of a writer myself. So I mean journalist writer, but so I was like, okay. And it's really good at it's not scary, but it's very good at suspense where it's constantly nighttime. It brings me back to when you're a kid and you see a scary movie or you read like this is the most boomer shit ever. You were a little kid and you read a chain letter a bit too late at night about how if you didn't send it, they'd kill your mom or something. And you're like, you're in your room, you have your light on, you can't sleep. And like the light is so bright and it's dark outside and you're like so tired. It brought back that feeling where it's nighttime and you don't want it to be nighttime because there's constant like atmospheric noises and like sudden music stings and all the characters are blurry and it really nails fear without being like a scary game. It's more like a suspenseful game. And I really enjoyed that. I'm right at the end, but I'm really interested maybe in going back to other Remedy games because apparently everything references Alan Wake now, like apparently Control did and stuff like that. But I wish I'd played this game sooner because it is very interesting, and I think it's also a good October game. So I mean, if you're like, I don't know, I recommend. Well, you can probably get it for like $5 on Steam, and then play it that way. You don't necessarily need the remastered one, but I've had a good time with it, so that's what I've been playing.
It sounds like a game that I'll wait is for like a $10 sale or something. Like maybe I usually go pretty hard on Black Friday, so it sounds like one of those games that I'll just throw in my Black Friday bag.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I thought about that once. Let's toss that in.
Buy 2 get 1 free.
Yeah,
well, that's the free one right there. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, always happy to. Even though I got belittled for sharing, even though I got mocked.
Try not to think about that.
Publicly humiliated in front of all my adoring fans.
Let's speaking of adoring fans, Let's read some of these comments.
Yeah.
We have Sabin Fire saying, I'm not the biggest horror game fan, but my first horror experience was probably Friday the 13th on NES. You had to try to save kids from Jason while he chases after you with a knife. My most memorable horror game remains Silent Hill on PS1, since it was the first real 3D horror game I recall playing, and the atmosphere was super creepy, and the dark foggy town. Unfortunately, I'm old now, so nothing is fictional media really scares me anymore. It sucks.
Yeah, because the real world's scary enough. Am I right, Sabin Fire?
Yeah. I remember
change.
Friday the 13th on NES. It's okay. I wouldn't.
Isn't it by Atlas?
I don't remember. Maybe it was published by Atlas.
That's so weird.
Or LGN or something. I don't know. Yeah. I remember playing that game or watching my cousins play that game when I was younger, and I never understood what was going on.
I've heard that a lot with that game, that it's a lot to take in.
Yeah. I just thought it was, whenever I saw them playing it, I thought it was Zelda 2. So that's the only reason why I watched it. And then when I realized that they were playing something not Zelda 2, I was just not interested.
Oh, Friday the 13th? No thanks. I'll stick to Zelda 2.
What the hell is that? Silent Hill is a great game. I think it still holds up.
Great. I think so too.
I wouldn't want a remake. I'm kind of tired of remakes, if you ask me.
I think it depends on the game. I think if it doesn't hold up as well as Silent Hill, sure. But Silent Hill 1 holds up surprisingly well.
If they do as good a job as like Final Fantasy 7,
Yeah.
But then you're not really, you kind of would need to reboot it as a remake.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're all Silent Hills are generally the same, follow the same formula. I think people that like it mostly just like it for the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can feel attached to those characters, but in the long run, you're in it to kind of get sucked back into this hell,
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, the games today, I'm scared of shit. I scare easily, so I'm old, but I think if a movie's trying to be funny, I'll laugh. If a movie's trying to be scary, I'll get scared, or if it's trying to make me cry, I'll cry just to, because it's trying to make me feel something.
Sheep Azario.
Yeah, I just like to feel what it's trying to make me feel, Maybe I'm just putting on a show. Maybe this isn't really me.
A facade.
Maybe
Who is Azario?
Who am I?
Azario stares blankly at a comedy movie and goes, "Oh,
I'm the loudest person laughing. I'm so annoying in the movie theater.
I can picture that. I can actually picture that perfectly.
Don't go to a movie with me." Lozy says, my scariest experience was when I had the honor of playing PT on a practically new PS4. I say practically because the first time Lisa strangled me, I threw the controller to the floor, making its first cut mark. Oh. To that, you can add that random loop that looks like another color. This is a very long comment.
Oh my god! I was like, is he gonna do the whole thing, or is he gonna cop out? I was waiting for this very long comment. Poor Lozy.
Lozy, thank you for the comment. PT was scary. Everyone tried to like copy it after that. Nah. Final Fantasy,
a literal demo was that influential though.
Yeah, it made Resident Evil 7 pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also say Mr. X from Resident Evil 2, and Fear's Little Girl, Silent Hill 4. Yeah. Actually, I've never played Silent Hill 4. Is that The Room?
That's The Room. Yeah, that's the
I
Tommy
never
one.
played The Room.
I haven't either, but everyone I know who has either loves it or dislikes it. So
Okay, that's the one I've been wanting to play a lot.
That's one where you have the little peephole, right?
Mm-hmm.
You watch the people through the peephole.
I think the only thing I think G4 covered it once, maybe. They covered a Silent Hill, and I remember being scared. Mm-hmm. So, but I've never played The Room. Brian L says, I don't play horror games. Too scary. Can't really do horror movies either. Closest I've got is reading Higurashi, and even that almost gave me a panic attack. I've heard this from people who actually like horror, that Higurashi kind of freaked him out. That is like the prime example of a visual novel that doesn't really need graphics to make an impact on the reader. If you're looking for something like, oh my god, immersive, amazing, Higurashi is it. You can get the whole thing for like $20 too. I think it's really cheap.
Wow.
Yeah, Manga Gamer has it all, I believe. I think they put it all on Steam too.
Higurashi When They Cry. Okay.
Todd B is back.
Always love to hear from you, Todd B.
Eternal Darkness is still my favorite psychological horror game. How do you feel about Eternal Darkness? Were you a GameCube boy?
I got my brother's GameCube eventually, but I was my parents were very strict on the rating system, so I didn't have I couldn't play M games. So when I was a little preteen, kid to preteen, I didn't play it, but I want to go back and play Eternal Darkness really badly because I've heard a lot of great things about it, and I mean it's accessible. So
I think it's really expensive. Is it on Steam?
It's accessible in the naughty way.
You can't naughty it. You got it's only like $60-$80.
Yeah, it's free to mod your Wii. I didn't say that. That was a ghost in the room. It's Halloween.
$60-$80. Yeah.
The piracy ghost. Oh, you went Play Mother 3. Oh.
Well, that's all I can see. I think I got them all.
One-on-one time with Spencer, glorious. Thank you, Luke. I'm glad that you appreciated that. Just goes to show.
Oh, Jennifer P says Fatal Frame 2, Clock Tower 3. Now, this is the first time someone actually pointed out Clock Tower 3.
Because you talked about Clock Tower, which is actually Clock Tower 2 last week.
Yeah. And Clock Tower 3 is by Capcom. And
they had their fingers in all sorts of pies back then.
It was kind of like a magical girl horror thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
I remember playing it as a child, and when you beat the game, you unlock this knight's armor, and if you crawl, you can see her underwear. Yeah, I remember.
Azario, you horn dog.
Well, I didn't know, and I was like, "Oh, video games!
What on earth,
Dad?
Put on pants."
Why is
Azario,
my game making me feel this way? I just want to be a magical girl.
Azario, this isn't Mario 2.
And Siren Blood Curse. I'm not sure if that's the PS3 one or the PlayStation 2 one, but they're all okay.
You know what? Spooky games I've been wanting to play. Have you ever heard of Puppet Combo?
No.
They make PS1-esque horror games. I found them on Twitter, and they look, all the comments I see are like, oh, if you like Clock Tower, if you like freaky the PS1 visuals, you should check them out. So I want to go. All the footage I see of their games is very unsettling, so I want to go play those. Little indie recommendation.
Nursia says Yumi Nikai, which is actually a pretty good horror game.
Oh, I heard of that.
I think they did a remake of it or remastered. They did something of it. It's just you have to invest yourself. It's one of those games where you have to invest yourself some trial and error. But in terms of world building and immersion, I think that game really excels in the spooks and the scares.
Yeah.
But that's the show.
That's the show.
All I got to tell you, and I'm going to excite you right now, Spencer, is that next week is yay or nay.
It's yay or nay week already?
This weekend I'll be going to LA for a concert. Ooh. And so I'll be checking out on Saturday.
Fair enough.
I'm just updating you about my weekend.
Just humble bragging. Yeah, I gotta go to a concert. Yeah.
I used to, when I used to go to concerts, I used to be on the floor and want to be with the crowd. But now that I'm on my 30s, I just want to sit down, enjoy a good show.
Just want to go to the symphony, just have a good time.
Yeah. Cry.
Just want to go listen to some classical music, dude. Maybe fall asleep.
Yeah. It's kind of classical. The bands I'm listening to are all like emo bands from early 2000s. So
that's not classical. Classical. Beethoven, Bach, Breaking Benjamin.
I don't listen to Breaking. Why of all bands?
It's the only name I knew. I don't know any of them. I don't even know what they sing. What do they sing?
I don't know. I forgot. They have a good song though. They have a big song. I wouldn't say good.
Oh, you said it was good, mister.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
I don't know how to close. I don't know how to close out this show, but I did recently buy Katamari Mossy and We Love Katamari on PS2. So maybe I'll play these when I should be playing other stuff.
For review.
With that said, thanks everyone. Have a great week. See you next week for a yay or nay.
Ooh.